Okay, and it looks like we're good to get started. GG's to both racers. Or good luck to both racers. And it looks like both racers are going to be super serious on this, and we're not seeing some funny names for the file name. So I think everybody's putting their best foot forward on this one. And they're off. So they're immediately going to be starting to make their way through the prologue. Now, what they're going to want to do here is finish the prologue with the cross, start the Dracula fight with 41 hearts, finish it with 0 hearts, and not take damage from Dracula, and beat this quite quickly. So let's see how both runners are going to fare this early in the game. First form on Dragon Blitz went well. In second, are we seeing some damage stacks? So we got a bit of damage stacks on Jupiter's side, but not enough to finish him off. Still, both through the prologue very quickly. Absolutely, CM Zangetsu, this is going to be a great match. This is a casual preset, so for those who aren't aware, we've obviously randomized all of the elements of this game, which means we are going to have random weapons, random drops, all of the relics that are included in the game could be in any location. The shop has been randomized, and the stats on individual items have also been randomized. So very, very, very good opportunity for showing off good execution, routing, and of course luck. And it looks like we have a 2-hit weapon, which is nice against those wargs. So they're able to keep good pace going, and they're almost in sync. An anti-venom, which could come into play later. Anti-venoms will give iframes and can be used for cheating into, and we see a quick menu check there. There's no library cards. They're obviously going to go through death. If they use the iframes, they can cheat their way to Silver Ring in advance of when they should be able to access it. So in terms of what's allowed, but the iframe glitch is allowed. We're not going to see, however, reverse shift lines or anything like that. Secret boots. Now, again, in the vanilla game, secret boots are completely meaningless. However, because item stats have been randomized, those secret boots could actually have boost to stats. Jupiter checking, and Dragon Blitz checking the globe. Duke with a very slight lead here. And we see our first menu check, and there doesn't seem to be anything, so they're going to be going into the Slaughter and Gaibon fight with nothing but hands, so we're obviously going to see them open with the Tetra Spirit. And a very clean fight from Jupe. DragOnBlitz just starting his. And it looks like he got the double kill, which is nice. He'll save a few seconds. Seeing a little bit of money to drop on JupiterClimb side, that's excellent. Obviously, we've seen the shop have some progression over the last few matches and some really nice items. So we want to make sure that we're getting to the shop with at least 500 gold. Obviously, there's better opportunities for great weapons there. It's a great number of checks. We can even see things like a duplicator. So I'm sure both runners want to make sure that they're getting the library with sellables and cash as much as possible. Jupiter making his way down, checking Spirit Orb. It looks like... Is that Leapstone or Jewel of Open? It was Leapstone, so they're going to get some nice movement. Technically, this also opens Coliseum if the clock rush is on right. But it is very nice to see as a nice movement improvement early on. And it'll also open other areas of the library. So we're likely to see both. We're likely to see both heading to the library as it should be open. Hey Ziggy. This is already shaping up to be a bit of a surprise in that Jupiter seems to have a fairly solid standing in terms of time. See, yeah, neither one of them opting to go to Coliseum. Obviously, that makes a great deal of sense. Now, the other reason why some players like to move or put off library in some cases is because it increases the chance of finding things like saleable items or additional cash. So maybe by the time they get to the library, they'll be in a better position to afford better items. Yes, you're right. Mini Mina, it does open Keep. You can make your way across from Outer Wall using the Leapstone. Or again, they could go up through Coliseum to Chapel and up across Chapel. Ooh, and DB taking a hit off the Stone Rose. Jupiter not electing to get the life max up. And a Corn Dog, that's nice. So for those not familiar, the reason why these runners, especially top-tier runners, are not interested in life max up or heart max up, it does take time every single time you pick one of those up, as it freezes the screen to display the text. So runners not really wanting to see that. And we're about to go into the Doppelganger 10 fight, so this is a level 10 Alucard, and I'm sure both are going to be looking to try and get a loop here. Yep, Jupe with the loop, hitting a really nice series of hits on him, and that's the fight. So, clean Doppelganger fight. DB with the faster loop. Wow, really made up a lot of time there on that fight. That was fantastic. Wow, yeah, that was a very, very clean fight on DB's side. We're going to make up, and there's a rib of Vlad, so there's our first Vlad in the elevator where you'll usually find the Soul of Wolf. We'll have to pick it up this time. Jupiter opting for Summon Spirit as opposed to a Soul Steal. DragOnBlitz choosing the same. Both grabbing the Warp, I assume, in case they need to come back and check Fired Bat. And high-fiving on the way through the room. So from here, they could technically go to keep, but I think both will probably go to library to see at least what's in the shop. And there are 2 Vlads on offer there. Potentially more if they're able to finagle their way up. Durons. The leapstone here is really nice. Jumping over those little Durons without the leapstone often leads on getting skewered from behind and wasting time and HP. The real problem here without a weapon, though, is these books are weak to cut, and you'd like a sword of some sort, and we've got Power of Wolf, which Jupiter picks up, so we're going to see a Soul Steal here, I imagine, to try and clean out some of these books. And Dragon Blitz may... Oh. He got pushed into the Power of Wolf. So a little bit of cash, $125 on JupiterClimb side. I think he's going into the shop very close to what he needs. Dragon Blitz continuing to get levels off of the Lord Durons. Yeah, and perfect. So they're both in the same room at the same time. Both grab the Cutlass, which at the very least is a cut weapon and can help with some of the farming. And it has 42 attack, which is really nice to see. Yeah, obviously we're seeing a bit of Dragon Blitz making up some of that time.
I'm interested.
No sellables, Jewel of Hope and Vanilla, which is really interesting. So that's going to be the main progression, and it looks like they're both going to have to farm. So here's where that element of luck comes in. The real question is where are they going to choose to farm? I think they're going to be seeing themselves in the same space. Yep, Dragon Blitz taking his first save in the library. Likely wants to Soul Steal here and use it to refill MP. And that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of good density of enemies here. It's a really easy place to refill the mana. Jupiter opting to farm from the books. If you can pull off the Soul Steal, it's also quite nice, but it's a bit finicky. And in order to reset, you have to travel a long distance. I think he's maybe hoping that he only needs to do this once, or possibly twice. Oh, DB getting a random drop of Alucard Mail. Whether or not it's actually Alucard Mail, whether or not it has good stats, we'll find out, obviously. Yeah, 200 for Mana Prisms, DMix, also quite nice. I'm sure they'd like to pick up at least one, but given the fact that they're in the finals of this competition, I don't know whether or not they're planning on sticking around too long. And it looks like Jupe's got his 500, and he's starting to make his way back. Oh, another drop of a sword, a two-hander. That could be big for Dragon Blitz if it has some nice stats. Yes, Ruo Soy. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. The Fleamen have 2 drops because there's the armor and the actual Fleaman. However, they also hit like a truck. Fortunately, DB is farming really close. With 1 goal to spare, Jupe is the first one with the Jewel of Open, and he's on his way out. And DB continuing to farm. I'm sure this is not where they want to be. Yeah, and opting to reset the room there, that just makes sense with the 2 Fleamen on the board. All right, $25. You know, on the bright side, DB's getting a lot of levels here, so eventually his MP will be somewhat higher. Yeah, Asuna, this is where we start seeing random luck and RNG come into play, and it's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, Jupiter on his way already out of the long library, heading down to Caverns, one would assume. Depending on the clock rush, he may pop up and get the teleporter, but we'll have to see once he gets there. And there's another 25 bucks for DB. I wonder how much. I honestly haven't been keeping track of his cash. Let's see what he's got. Oh, and that's probably going to put him over the top of that 50. Jupiter making his way through the stone roses, across the midpoint of the room. The lizard people with the lady on the back. I wish I could pronounce that. Diplocephalus, I think it's called, but that's a shot in the dark. All right, and it looks like DB's got the money he wants. He's gonna head to shop, and at this point, Jupe is a fair amount ahead. That being said, with casual, the more things open up, the more the variability we're gonna see, and the greater divergence in the routing. We could see very easily DB come back from this. So at the very least, we're seeing a very interesting start to the first match. Hey, it is Diplocephalus. That feels fantastic. Thanks, Demix. Yeah, that's Nate. It's a huge issue. Again, not insurmountable, but he's I think 2 minutes behind if I've counted that right, and not what you want to have to make up at this point. Okay, Jupiter hitting the underground caverns and saving for the first time. It's an interesting choice for a save. Vanilla Jewel of Open, a coincidence? That is absolutely a coincidence, JDS. So everything is randomized, but it's not prevented from being in its original place. There are, however, presets where that is a thing. Jupiter on his way to fight Scylla. You'll see in I think it's Guarded OG, vanilla Silver Ring, Gold Ring, and Spike Breaker armor. That can sometimes be a really good introduction for newer players. Obligatory SotN.io push if you're interested in the randomizer or the community in general. SotN.io, and ooh, Jupiter. Okay, we see the Soul Steal here, and that should help clean things up with the Scylla heads, and she's down. Excellent. SotN.io is fantastic. There's a good community there of people who are absolutely happy to bring you into the fold, welcome you, teach you all you want to know about all the different Castlevania games, not just Symphony of the Night. And there's a growing community of randomizer racers, daily races, very casual. Everyone's happy to show you anything that they can share in terms of knowledge. Yeah, Scylla being a bust, Fire Bat, fairly useless in this. We did see DB make some very interesting use of Force of Echo in his match against Dinner Dog. So we may see Jupiter pick up Force of Echo if he sees that. But moving forward across the caverns, he's going to go open mines with the double jump. He can at least get to Cerberus and the one relic beyond that. Whether or not he goes further, fights Legion or not Legion, sorry, Grand Falloon. He has no way to blind bat, so that's pretty up in the air as to whether or not he'll do that. He also has the Merman statue check. But there's a number of ways to approach, and he falls, so I don't know whether or not he was looking to cross, but that's, I'm sure, not what he wanted to be doing. That being said, we will either see progression at here, Coliseum, or Keep, and progression is likely in the form of some form of flight. So we'll need to see something coming up shortly. It looks like he's found a sword he's relatively happy with. I know Jupiter favors an ice brand, but item stats being randomized in this game, sometimes weapons will surprise you. Yeah, library card is big. And it's Grav Boots. So Jupiter can actually go back up the mines. The question is he going to route back in entrance? I think he'd be very likely to do that. But that is flight. So the leap stone plus Gravity Boots is flight. It's not the quick zoom flight that we want with the with Bat, but it will open up the majority of the castle. So we still don't have a transformation, so All Rocks is not on the table, but absolutely you can check Alchemy. Now, so Mateus, that it's a good point that without Spikebreaker check, he can go Alchemy. He could also check behind Cerberus, I think it's Demon card, warp back from there to do the Alchemy loop, and then always come back once he's able to do it. But there's definitely a number of ways we can see this being approached, and wow, some of those zombies hitting like a truck here. Let's see what we see for entrance. And that's Spikebreaker. So now he can actually do Spikebreaker. Being able to full clear is very nice. We may see him go Catacombs at this time. So yeah, not quite Soul of Bat, which is what I think both runners would be looking for, so we can get the Infinite Wing Smash movement. But for now, definitely Jupiter must be very, very happy with his decisions thus far. I think they're both probably feeling a little bit behind on time in terms of farming. And it looks like he's actually going to go to Alchemy Loop, which is interesting. Again, really want to stress there's no wrong answer, especially in casual. These two know exactly what they're doing. It's just different ways to approach the same problem. And I am very curious to see whether or not we see a route divergence here. So Jupiter making his way up, at least to the first alchemy check here. This will also let him hit Gravity Boots and potentially Coliseum on the way up. Merman, oh, he must be very happy right now to see Merman. It allows him to full clear Caverns at this point, and will definitely be advantageous if there's something there and DB opts to not do Alchemy until later. Nope, Jupe getting stuck there a little bit, but recovers, and he's going to make the Slogger and Gaimon check. So DB getting his Spike Breaker, and let's see what they elect to do. Yeah, D-Mix, it's in terms of a good route. I mean, they're all potentially good routes. Right, especially if something like Merman turns out to be nothing and Dragon Blitz doesn't have to double back for it. But we'll only know once we have a salt seed, and so I think they're all making what they believe to be optimal plays here for sure. You could make a very strong case for Dragon Blitz's choice here, considering that we've got an opportunity to full clear Catacombs. It's not as fast as with Bat, but obviously you could save split some of that out. Also, DB has been a little bit, at least in the last few matches, it seems like he's been very greedy on item checks, and more in Caverns, like the 6 checks at Succubus, the checks down the way to Catacombs. There's lots of things that may be a personal preference of theirs. And yeah, Jupe making his way up to Coliseum. Thing to note though, we don't currently have a way to get to Uncle All Rocks, which could be problematic here. We'll see. At the very least, he is able to warp. Yeah, Jupe is very happy to continue moving forward with weapons and armor once they're comfortable with equipment for Dracula. So, you know, a bit of a Spartan approach sometimes to that. There's nothing wrong with that. That looked like a ring of some sort. He's not picking it up. Perhaps Jupiter is wanting to come back once they have missed for easy access, but you know it's also right outside where they're going to need to turn in rings. So I don't think it's a bad idea to leave that there for later. Yeah, that's exactly it. But I apologize again if I got your name wrong. It's so close. They're going to have to warp back here anyways for Holy Glasses. It's a really easy pickup, and they're going to save all of that time and potentially more by misting through that gate and avoiding the fight with Minotaur. Dragon Blitz checking that our demon card, and it's Fairy Scroll, obviously not picking that up. I think DB has logged enough hours in this game to know exactly what all of them are called. And it looks like they are opting to warp out from the Snake Gate. And Jupiter is making their way to for a sword card. Yeah, Nate, Jupe's really gotten smooth at some of this. I mean, there's obviously things that they do as part of their other items, or as part of their other runs, that like jump slashes that have always been super clean and transferred quite well. It looks like Jupe's going to open and either double back or make their way up to keep. Both great plays. Dragon Blitz, checking out Fire with Bat. It's nothing. And it looks like both players are going to make their way to keep. Yeah, it'd be really interesting, Pehi, to see whether or not this is a transformation scene. That's very, very possible at this point. Now, the thing about Jupiter's routing is that Dragon Blitz will be able to hit up Uncle All Rocks at the same time as checking that card, although it's nothing, so it's not like Jupiter got ahead, so to speak. And of course, Dragon Blitz checking all of the items and getting some very sort of Hador, sort of Dawn. These are it's a one-hander and a two-hander, so depending on the stats and what that's scrambled with, it may actually be quite nice to see. Yeah, so Justin, for Go mode, we need some way over the flight, essentially, some way over to Second Castle, and Holy Glasses. Jupiter making quick work of that fight. Dragon Blitz. Yeah. And Jupiter actually taking the time to do some item checks in the attic here. Or not the attic proper, but the attic of the chapel. Not finding anything to write home about, so to speak. And both in the big room. Dragon Blitz checking Hour of Mist first. And it's Form of Mist, so that's nice to see. That's going to open the library. And opting to take the Cube of Zoe. And nothing at back card. Although there's a Firebrand, which could be anything. You're right, sorry, Silvering is also in Logic, but I don't know whether or not Jupiter's keen to go back there so quickly. Jupiter checking attic. It looks like Dragon Blitz is going to do his Alchemy loop now. Potentially routing that in also to Silvering check. And it looks like Dragon Blitz may pick up some of the time lost and be ahead after this, depending on what is at Silvering. Yeah, 2 pairs of secret boots. Doubly secret, mate. So the thing to keep in mind, Mateus, is with it being casual, it's not necessary that it has to be at silver ring because it doesn't need to be progression there. It could just as easily be at remand, right? Or even library gate, rings. There's lots of options on the table. But very dry so far in this first castle. We've only found the one Vlad. Looks like Jupiter's just gonna check out Fire Bat. Dragon Blitz making his way back to the Marble Gallery. Has to check gravity boots. Hopefully a good clock cycle. Or potentially going back down to Caverns. We'll find out soon. Jupiter's going down. Question is he going to go to Library? Yes, he is. So it looks like we're going to see what's at Soul of Bat. Dragon Blitz opting to pick up the Holy Symbol. And Jupiter making his way to Soul of Bat. Dragon Blitz on good clock cycle. Possible to fight all rocks here as well for Dragon Blitz, but at the very least, they're going to go into Coliseum, find the ring, and be able to miss through that gate. Yeah, DB could save split. That's a good point, Ludwig. No, so Mini Mina, basically the way Spike Breaker is deemed in Logic is with Echo of Bat and Form of Bat, or Soul of Bat rather. And it's a Vlad, so it's necessary for Dragon Blitz to come back here, but that's not really the relic I'm sure Jupiter wanted to see. So the real question is, are we going to see Dragon Blitz hit up Warlock? Or all rocks? Jupiter making his way back to the shop, I'm sure. Yeah. He's got money and he wants to spend it. Justin, it depends. Anything can be great in this game, except for probably the Red Rush. And of course, the Heaven Sword is the best sword. All right, Jupe picking up some equipment. Yeah. Ring of Ares, good choice. Just make his offense a little bit better. Silvering Logic does require Spike Breaker, yes. Yeah, so we're going to see DB slowly making his way, or their way, with the Mist. It works. Picks of Dad, nice. So nothing's happened so far. Mayron, Soul of Wolf isn't on the table. Dragon Blitz. Now checking out what's behind Uncle Ulrock's. And it's the other ring. So that's interesting. He's in a very nice place to check it. Vlad probably wants to at least go to Silver Ring. Very curious to see what's going to happen here. Jupiter making their way back, probably fighting Succubus on the way down here. We're going to see what that and the surrounding items are. And Blitz on their way to Silver Ring, I would imagine. So I think we're going to see, at the very least, more information on both players. Library card on Jupiter's side, that's nice to see. And the Masamune was actually the great sword. So the thing about Masamune is it's got absolutely fantastic special, which deals damage regardless of what it sets its stat to, or stats have been set to. So very, very nice to see. Yeah, Ziggy, that library card could come in handy if we see Jupiter want to check out Catacombs. He's got an easy out back to library. And nothing at Silver Ring, so... Yeah, Jupe making short work of Succubus. Blitz on their way back to check rings. Holy Glasses at Succubus. Jupiter's got access to the second castle now. Very curious to see whether or not they opt to take that up. It is somewhat of a weak Masamune, Mateus, but its special is fantastic still. Jupiter gonna go check Merman after a save split. Makes a lot of sense. Probably not wanting to burn the library card. And DB is going to check out Holy Glasses. So again, getting a lot more information from both players at the same time. This is the beauty of Route Divergence. It lets us, the viewer, and leaving that sword behind, very interesting. 2 swords behind. Yeah, that's a good point, Ziggy. Both waiting. And it's nothing, so Jupe's going to take his save split. Blitz is going to see what's at Holy Glasses. Merman bait, you gotta love it, Demix. That's right. Merman is always bait. Especially in casual. And absolutely nothing at Holy Glasses. So, even worse bait. But I'm sure it's good to know that that's out of the way. And I'd be very surprised if Jupiter doesn't check that at some point. So it's not like that was done less optimally, or that's time that only Blitz is going to lose. Right. Again, the thing to keep in mind with a lot of this is it's not about doing the best route. A lot of the times the same number of things are done by all runners. It's a better question of what's more efficient than your opponent's route. Yeah, at this route, Creature could have a Vlad. Do we see DB skip Caverns? I don't know. I'd be very surprised because he also hasn't checked Succubus or Medusa, so he's going down for sure for that. I think the question for me is whether or not we see Jupiter skip Catacombs, because there's no fast way to do it. But he's got the library card to teleport out quite nicely. The library card that Dragonblitz is also about to pick up if he breaks the currents. Okay, and Dragonblitz about to do the Succubus fight. Jupiter heading to the Abandoned Mine. And his Cerberus fight, which we'll see how this goes. Yeah, should be a very short work with that Masamune special. Absolutely. Yeah, so just want to keep in mind with the Masamune, that special does a huge amount of damage regardless of the item's individual stats. I am not knowledgeable enough to tell you why that happens, but it is important to know. Jupe frozen on the input here. Update on that further once I can. Tracker not showing anything new at a quick glance, so it looks like there was nothing in there. Dragonblitz about to find the merman bait, but he is checking this, or they are checking that sword. It is a bastard sword, so at the very least it could be something good. But we see Jupe starting to make their way through the catacombs. And on their way to Grand Falloon. Not checking any of the items in the coffin room. Kind of surprising. Can't help but wonder what both runners are thinking at this point. Jupe's got 2 Vlads. Dragonblitz has 1. Probably not in situations where they'd like to be 41 minutes in. They barely have fast movement with shield dashing. There's no bat. I'm sure they're both wondering where their opponent is. Jupiter with the soul steal. Double soul steal for the kill. Very clean Legion or Galamoth fight. Or not Galamoth, fight. I mean, Nate, I always like to see no bat early. It's one thing when you see bat. It's another thing when you see bat and dupe early. It turns into nimble, which, if that's what you want, that's great. Very, very quick boss fight from Dragonblitz. DB gets his second Vlad. Not bait, but not what he wanted to see, or not what they wanted to see. Not necessarily very much behind Mateus. It's there's still a lot of information that Jupiter has that Dragonblitz doesn't. Quite vice versa. Dragonblitz catching up, obviously, and a bit ahead, but it depends too on where they are. There's a fire shield, so again, could be nice to find a pair for that. Looks like DB is skipping skipping right out. Probably debating Caverns or Castle 2 at this point. Poison Mist. And Jupiter's out. Now the real question is, are they going to go to second castle from library? Not doing a third tour of the shop, obviously. Yeah, it's looking like 3 Vlads in Castle 2, Demix. And bat in Castle 2. Of course, neither of them knows that. Jupiter still hasn't fought all rocks. Jupiter still hasn't checked Silver Ring, and they still haven't checked Holy Glasses. They haven't even picked up their gold ring from Coliseum, so they could see value in going there. Dragon Blitz, on the other hand, doesn't know that there's nothing in Catacombs. Which could be a giant bait. Speaking of which, it looks like we're about to find it looks like they're going to start sharing information here. So Jupe likely will warping to all rocks. Gonna go up to fight all rocks, over to Silver Ring and back, I imagine. But we'll see. This is not backtracking that Jupiter wants to be doing, and in fact is something that Dragon Blitz does not need to do because of how they routed their item initially. Yeah, Miro, it's nothing, but it's been checked by DB. He managed to they managed to route it in between fighting all rocks and checking sword card. So again, all of this is double counted for Jupiter and is definitely some inefficiencies here. Dragon Blitz on the way. So Dragon Blitz has a couple outs of this space, which is nice. I mean, in addition to having the save split, if it turns out that one of these two relics, which we know is nothing, turns out to be something, they also have the library card to get out quickly. So they've got to be happy with their options right now, at least. So we're really going to get a good sense when both runners make it to Castle 2, but right now, I think it's safe to say Dragon Blitz is probably 1 to 2 minutes ahead going into second Castle. Yeah, chair toss, you don't know, and it's something you don't want to have to come back to later. It's it can be a bit of a taking time bomb. If the longer you put it off, and the more you get through Castle 2 not finding things, the more you're going to second guess yourself. Yeah, Peggy, exactly. So Jupe has a lot to do still. Again, the frustrating thing we're going to see from Jupiter's perspective, aside from these RPG jerkbirds, is because he got the gold ring, even though this is nothing, he has to make his way all the way back. And so, unfortunate, but the reality for that. And DB taking down. Finds his familiar card, goes back to his save split, and Dragon Blitz is going to be heading into the second castle, probably around the 49-minute mark. Yeah, Delta, I can't take credit for that. That's actually a term from, if I recall correctly, a Parasite Eve run from an RPG Limit Break. The crows in Central Park are the RPG jerkbirds. Yeah, that's going to feel really bad, Demix. Very clean Richter fight. And yeah, it looks like around 49-minute mark. Yeah, Miro, it's a great game, but it's definitely got some points that split controllers in half. Is Jupiter gonna orphan the check? I would respect that choice. It's probably not something they want to do. And it looks like that's what they're gonna... Wow. So, big play potentially here from Jupiter. Nowhere near as far behind as we thought they might be. So it looks like 50 minutes heading in for Jupiter. So Jupiter going into second castle, only 1 minute behind DB, but leaving behind the only check in first castle. Not a terrible place to be in, considering we all know the Vlads are located, and there's no other bait to go back to Castle 1. I'd be very surprised if Jupiter second guesses themselves and decides to go back to the first castle. So there's our third Vlad, right at Darkling Bat. Could Galamoth have last Vlad, Nate? Who knows? This game does like to be mean sometimes. But I think we could just as easily see, you know, the next two bosses be two flats, and that's the end of it. It's a batless seed. We've come very close a number of times, and actually in Jupiter's first match with Fire 1520, Fire completed the seed without bat and won. Beelzebub, yeah, that'll be. So guesses from chat on where we're going to see Eye and Ring. I very much like your guess of Medusa to Eye, Nate. Yeah, if only for the lore. Okay. So DB finishing up Medusa at the same time Jupe gets the heart. It is Echo. And are we going to see Jupiter go Creature? Very not likely. Nate, I wish I knew how to do a gamble on this chat or on this mod, so I am unfortunately not able to help you there. Yeah, so Jupe's really about that 1 minute behind mark, maybe a little bit less. It's very close, and things in the second castle can set you back a minute, no problem. Right, if you get juggled a little bit, Trio doesn't go well, Beast doesn't go well, Galamoth can be a bit persnickety. There's lots of things that can cost that minute, and I really want to hit the head here. Both of these runners are absolutely amazing in terms of execution, so it's not going to be who does what well, it's what little mistakes add up. DB getting ready to head into the Aquadon fight. And it looks like they're preparing, preparing to do the mist walk. Ooh, poison on Aquadon, not where you want to be. Poison. Okay. Daggers were a good choice. Very, very nice. Let's see how Jupiter handles that fight as well. Is that a... Yeah. Yeah, so Jupiter having a bit of trouble navigating those flying zombies. These can be a bit of a problem in terms of mobility. The way that they separate and take the time to do so, and their invincibility while doing so, can often knock you back a little bit when you're trying to go through. Yeah, and there's our ring. Obviously, the Lich has the ring. So is Creature going to have the eye? Bees, Death, Force of Echo, Dop 40. Lots of options on the table. Clean fight from Jupe. That Masamune really doing some hard work here. So we're seeing Death, Trio, please not Galamoth. DB making use of the iframes on Summon Spirit to get past. Double jump off the candle, double jump off the half skull. Very nice. Yeah, that's a very good question, Suna. Are we gonna see Bat before we see that last Vlad, or is this gonna be a Batless seed? Oof. Yeah, the Castle 2 enemies really hit like a truck. This is not a great place to be in. Obviously, DB not in risk of dying, but setbacks on every hit. Okay, maybe I jinxed that. This is not... Okay, there we go. Not where you want to be, but definitely recoverable. So like I said, these are the opportunities for Jupiter to make that time back up. Dragonblood's not dying. I think Jupiter still has pictures of Dad in his inventory, if he's been using the same, if I recall correctly, but we'll have to see. Jupiter also not opting to save, so cutting back some time there, and we see Soul of Bat. So Dragonblood's happy with that, but maybe questioning whether or not someone else went to Castle 2 first. Now let's see how Jupiter's fight here goes. Dragonblitz leaving at 56-39. There's 2 down. Jupiter's fight going a lot cleaner. And a very nice stair climb from Dragonblitz. Jupiter grabbing their Soul of Bat. Not saving either, leaving 30 seconds behind, if my math is correct, and it could very much be wrong. But Jupiter very, very much hot on his tails. We're going to see a bees fight really quick here. Jupe taking the mana refill. Oof. That was a nice fight, but those bees hit like a truck. Dragonblitz heading down. Skill of Wolf, not what we need to see. Jupiter's probably going to have a bit of a harder time. Oh, no, that's right. He's got the pictures of Dad. And not making as quick of a work of bees. And probably going to have to refill mana on the way out. So this boss was definitely a bit of a time loss for Jupiter. Yeah, are we going to see Creature? Are we going to see Manly Split? Are we going to see Dop 40 and back? Up to Galamoth? It's unknown. 2 Nova Skeleton drops of a Flam version in a row for Dragon Blitz. Just all the luck. Lagging on Jupiter's side. Update as we can. Oh, looks like they're out of Black Marble Gallery, or they're heading into the Black Marble Gallery now. And Dragon Blitz heading to Creature. Miro, he does have the prisms to skip Creature or to check Creature, but you know, so far it's been nothing over the course of the entirety of the tournament. Even so far as being going to be bait, but let's see if that turns around now. And Jupiter skipping Creature. This is of course going to be the one time Creature has a Vlad. Very clean Creature fight from Dragon Blitz. I feel like you could just say very clean fight from Dragon Blitz on everything. And with that, Jupiter looks like he's pulled ahead. So, again, fire if you're somewhere in chat or watching the VOD. Apparently your plan of always skipping Creature pays off. And Jupiter spending the mana prisms to get back, but definitely not something you waste your mana prisms on if you avoid it. Jupiter spending them instead on checking Force of Echo, which is paying off. And it looks like Jupiter's going to be the first one in go mode, right above where he wants to be, not having to go into the top 40 fight. This is really good for Jupiter, and wow. Skipping Creature just absolutely paying off. Yeah, Chair, he's got to be feeling really good right now, while simultaneously hating that skipping Creature worked. Again. And Dragon Blitz. Okay, opting for Force of Echo first. Definitely the right play there. So it looks like Jupe's going to have about a minute head start on Dragon Blitz to beat Dracula and Shaft. Let's see how this goes. God, I'd love to hear the audio on what they're both thinking right now. Jupe does have a better weapon. That Massacre special is absolutely fantastic. I think we just want to make sure. It's going to come down to whether or not they can one cycle. But again, a minute is not a Dracula cycle, so let's see how this goes. Jupiter in at 102.20. Both runners looking at their hour mark, probably thinking the other's already fighting Dracula. But absolutely, yeah. Exactly, Ziggy. All or nothing, no saves. It's all to the wall. Ooh, and he gets the special off on the first and second go around. Very nice. Misses on the third. Oof, this is a tight one, but it's Jupe's to lose at this point. They both got the same MP. And Dragon Blitz is in exactly 1 minute behind, but he's still in menu, so probably about a minute and 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds now behind. Wow, 10, 11, wow. This is going to be a bit of a frustration at the end, I'm sure. Jupiter hitting those specials on Masamune very, very nicely. Can we see the one cycle? And that's time for Jupiter. Jupiter wins the first match. Wow, big GGs. That's a beautiful match, and I hope the second one is just as close, regardless of who wins. Yeah, let's see some GGs in chat for Juke, but also for DragonBlitz probably in about 45 seconds. That's shaft down. Wow. That was such a good race. Yeah, Suna, that damn creature. It ended up costing DragonBlitz the race, but at the same time, Jupe knew to skip it because always skip creature. And again, a big play from Jupe that we completely skipped over as well was the skip of Holy Glasses. Absolutely paid off for him. I'm sure that was a little bit in the back of his mind going across, but huge win. I don't know what's happening on DragonBlitz's screen. Okay, looks like he needs 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Looks like our fingers are ready up and good to go. Just as a heads up, I'm joined, of course, by Doozy as well. Hi, Doozy.
Hi, 50 Keys, aka Keys in the West Seas, aka, I don't know, Moving Keys. Got all sorts of nicknames for you.
Wow.
Well, this is exciting. We got a pivotal game 2 here. We're going to see if DragonBlitz can eke out a win and make this go to a third game, or we'll see if Jupiter can lay the smackdown.
I did ask Jupe to beat this in 2. I'm unable to commentate the third, so perhaps he took that far more seriously than he should have. But I think in reality, we saw a very smart play from Jupe, and it looks like both runners are underway now. Starting prologue.
Looks like we got a little bit of delay between the two streams. It's all good.
That'll sync up in shortly, I'm sure. And we're using the race timer from the long library, so in case of any discrepancy of a small amount, we do have something to look back to. Good luck to both runners. Both starting prologue nicely.
Looks like DragonBlitz got some stacks on Drac 1 here.
Yeah, and it looks like Jupe got it towards the tail end as well. Track 2,
right.
definitely, yeah. And, okay, this is... He just manages to get rid of his last one. Perfect, so Jupiter finishes with 0 hearts as well.
Yeah. Get a look at those stacks.
All right. This is going to be a very interesting game, too.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the most popular runners in the Castlevania community going at it, so this is super fun.
And definitely 2 of the most talented. I mean, the fact that we saw in Game 1, they were virtually side by side for exactly until their route diverged. So their execution is definitely on par, and it's going to be a very competitive match either way. I hope that we see something a little bit different than last time. Maybe a little bit faster movement would be nice.
And for those who don't know, Blitzy holds a lot of world records for speedrunning this game. And Jupadoops is very active in running the randomizer, and he more often than not wins races. So yeah, it's like Blitzy's going to be technically amazing in all of this, but I feel like Jupiter's got the advantage when it comes to routing and just kind of general, improvisation when it comes to racing this.
Yeah, and I think that's a very
that's a good question. You want to answer that, 50?
Sure. So you want to start with 0. Okay, you want to end with 0 hearts. So there's a few things that affect your stats in the prologue. Monster File 2 and Amura Massa. Sorry, just quickly on the drops, which is very nice to see. So there's an extra item associated with starting with 41 hearts, an extra item associated with ending with 0 hearts. Ending with a cross, I believe, affects your stats. Not taking damage affects your stats. And your overall time in the prologue also affects this. Yeah, Black Fox, thank you for picking up the Slack in chat. It's very minor, but it could be something in Randomizer that is important. It's a use item, so you could see a library card, or you could even see something like Power of Sire, aka Pix of Dad. Dragonblitz doing the IQ check. Oh, and it is empty. We're starting to see, I think, and a shield, which is nice for fast movement on Jupiter's side. Going to be very nice to see a little bit faster movement than last time.
And even said a la carte shield, that could be an a la carte shield because it's based on the icon of the shield that you're picking up, and because they are exactly the same icon. But this is item and randomization, right? So it could be a la carte, not a la carte. So it's going to be very interesting if they get a Malbling or a shield rod.
Absolutely, but they also both. It's great for shield dashing either way. So I think it's we're seeing the Slogger and Gaibon fight. Jupiter a little bit ahead here. Maybe we're seeing Dragonblitz a bit tilted after that IQ check.
Yeah, that's the thing about Blitzy Poo. He loves that IQ check, and it's right there. It does cost a couple seconds, but I think in Dragon's mind, he really thinks that he can sort of make up for the time lost on the IQ check, which he can. He's super fast when you look at him.
Yeah, and I think it's you're right, and we saw him do that to great effect in the first match against Dinner Dog. Where his item check paid off with a Salable that was able to afford him a duplicator, and that was a big advantage in that race.
And I just saw there was a Twilight Cloak drop, so already these guys are getting pretty good equipment drops at the beginning, which is good. A lot of times you're naked for a long time at the beginning, but not the case here.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd both love to see a sword.
Yeah. That would be nice.
If only for the reach and for the Doppo fight. Obviously, we saw in the first round, both very capable. And Gravity Boots. So Gravity Boots, it opens an interesting option here to go back and loop through Alchemy. The two checks in Alchemy, although they are high up, don't technically require flight in Logic and could hold. And we're seeing a few item pickups here.
Jupiter is mad greedy.
Yeah, but Dragonblitz just got a Ring of Ares drop, so that could be nice. But yeah, so right now Alchemy Lab is actually in Logic and could hold Progression. It also opens the opportunity to go to Catacombs. So let's see what goes on here.
Yeah, I think so Jupes is just going to go straight to Library, which makes a whole lot of sense.
And a clock cycle.
I don't know why Dragonblitz saved. Oh, he saved split because he's going left. I think this is actually a good move by Blitzy Poo. He knows that Jupiter's not going to go this way, so this gamble could actually pay off pretty well for him.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Even if it holds progression, it'll pay off for him. If it holds a Vlad, it means Jupe's going to come back at some point. I think that, again, it has to be something here that actually pays off and doesn't increase the differential on the two of them getting souls, like Soul of Bat, which would be good fast movement. At this point, I don't think there's anything else short of flight that would pull him ahead.
Yeah, and more than likely, JupiterClimb's route is going to be going to Library and then going up to Keep. So, this is great.
Flight is a great example of something that will definitely help Dragonblitz.
Oh, see, this is perfect. So now he's going to keep going. Yeah. There's no reason to keep moving and seeing what's at Alchemy Lab. You just keep going.
No, he is. He's just going to go down the elevator.
Oh, he's doing Forbidden Route. Never mind.
Yeah.
This is something I don't ever do as a racer, so...
absolutely. Maybe he's hoping to kick the elevator down. They are able to skip the Dop 20, the Dop 10 fight, which is nice with the Gravity Boots. And there's the a la carte sword, although we didn't see the image. It could be anything else. At the very least, it's a one-hander. Yep. It probably goes pretty fast, and it likely has some decent stats. And it's a sword, which is better than a fist, mostly.
Yeah, and then Blitzy picked up Sword of Hador, so they have weapon options. It's just a matter of what exactly are they. And when you're dealing with item stat randomization, you really have to think really hard before opening up that menu to see what is what, because it does take quite a bit of time to see what you got.
That's a good point. Yeah, Eye of Vlad at Bat Card, and it looks like Soulbreaker at Elevator. So both very interesting. Spikebreaker not opening anything right now. We obviously need Jewel of Open, but it does mean that they could cheat their way to vanilla Spikebreaker. It's a piece of armor which provides defense, which is nice. And also, we could see Mist and Jewel of Open at some point come into play with Silver Ring.
So this is interesting. So they're both opening up their menus at about the same time, and finally kind of bringing out whatever they're probably going to be equipped with until they find something better. So.
Yeah, and two, I think we're going to see Dragon Blitz check the gravity boots here. And I'm wondering too if there's something at gravity boots like a transformation could we see in early All Rocks? Okay, so looks like we're gonna be able to check the first item at the library here, which is Spirit Orb being left behind, grabbing some health and hopefully money, no money from those books there, and we're gonna be able to see two things at this time. Fairy card, which is Vlad, which is nice. And Gravity Boots, which is Holy Glasses. So Holy Glasses letting them get into Castle 2 really early. That's a very interesting play, and we are seeing Dragon Blitz head up to at least Coliseum, but grabbing the teleporter is not a terrible idea here. Soul of Wolf. So that's our transformation, and we have all rocks on the table at this point.
Yeah, I'm in love with this race, by the way. It's very rare when you're watching two racers going in completely different routes at the very beginning. So this is a treat for us right now.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see, obviously, Jupe is faster in that menu than I am. I didn't get a chance to see what was on sale at the shop.
It was a Solar Wolf.
No, I mean in terms of other items that'd be worth.
50 doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the relic. I mean, if there's a Mana Prism or library card.
Yeah, or a duplicator, items like that, right? And we're gonna see what Mist is. Mist is a card, so nothing paying off in Coliseum just yet.
Faithful Rage does nothing good in the shop. I am to believe that is true. But the bonus that Jupiter now has is he can actually get into Olrox and do all the checks that he needs to there. Actually, he still needs flight, so never mind. But
he does need flight, but Alchemy is probably where they're heading.
Yep.
Yeah, and that looks like what they're doing right now.
Yep. Jupiter is heading right to entrance, so it makes sense. And this is going to be curious if Jupiter makes his way all the way to the entrance to check that one check, which is kind of out of the way and stinks to get
I think
to.
we could see them save splitting, but not likely. DB is possibly going there now. That would be the other item. Keep in mind. Oh no, it looks like they're continuing.
Hey, thank you so much.
Bat.
You're absolutely right. He does have Wolf Flight. My bad.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, out of logic flight. So it looks like you are correct. He is save splitting. And yeah, with out of logic flight, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do too in this situation, because it's a lot harder to try to get that check through the caverns. You might as well just get it out of the way here.
Well, yeah, and especially if you're smart enough to remember that you have out of logic flight, which I am apparently not. So that helps. And two, I think we're gonna see, yeah, Dragon Blitz is gonna try Silver Ring, or not Silver Ring, sorry, the sword card, and we'll see what that is at the very least. And they may make their way up to keep. So lots of information coming in at this time. It's great. We get to know more.
Yep.
Wolf Flight gives us
Fire
It's
Bat.
nothing. That's fine. There's the save split, and they know they don't have to come back.
All right. And then Blitzy's got Echo, which is kind of useless. But hey, if they screw up Blind Bat, it could come in handy.
Yeah, and also, so we actually saw him use it as part of Blind Bat to check where they were in an earlier match as well. They did use Force of Echo for a lot of pot checks in Caverns and Castle 2 really early, or later in the game, and that was interesting. Library card for Dragon Blitz in the Chapel Attic,
Okay.
very underscored as well.
Yep, and that affects routing right there. So very interesting to see what happens. But I'm sure in Blitz's case, he's just looking for Jewel of Open now. Otherwise,
although-
I would just make a make a beeline to second castle. But he's got a lot of checks still to do in the first.
Yeah, I think there's Mablon. That could be big.
If it's really Moblin. He's going to look right now because that's a game changer. Nope, it's Alucard.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, that's sad.
Yes, that's that's a bit of a disappointment on your Wheaties in the morning. But I think too, what we could see here in terms of a route divergence is Dragonblitz putting off that library as long as possible, hoping to get missed, right?
Yep.
If he's able to do a single cycle of library, that would be great, and he would actually make up, or they would actually make up a huge amount of time for all the non-warp travel that, or the vanilla travel that JupiterClimb would have had to do to go to Everwall.
And neither racer has a particularly good sword at the moment, so that's something to check. My guess is there's going to be quite a bit of menuing ahead for both of these racers. You're trying to find a weapon that works for the end game.
Yeah, I think, you're absolutely right. And I think Dragonblitz is very quick to check. He's definitely been checking a lot greedier item checks here, picking up almost everything. Jupiter has been, at least in the first match, a little more Spartan in their approach, and has been sort of making do with what they've got. So it'll be very curious to see whether or not that trend continues.
Tell me a little bit about the. Oh, we're gonna see what's up here for Jupiters. Oh, holy glasses. Oh, we already knew that. So tell me a little bit about the first game, 50, because I didn't watch it. How did that go?
Jupiter was trailing behind Dragonblitz for a good portion of it. In most cases, 1 to 2, maybe 3 minutes. They decided to skip Holy Glasses, which was a big time save in Castle 2. And they decided that the thing that really decided was skipping Creature. So there's a big part of that needs to be accounted for when we're looking at the balance. Additionally, DB was stuck farming for a very, very long time in the library in order to buy the relic, which was progression. It was a vanilla Jewel of Open. So very... it ended a lot closer than it started, and there were a lot of things that I think were drags on Dragonblitz. But that's not to say that Jupiter was any kind of a slouch in the first seed. Yeah, so, Dragonblitz continuing his many checks in.
Well, he got himself a nice sellable ring, so at the very least, he's going to be loaded when he gets to the shop for the first time.
Yeah, and Jupiter checking relatively little, I think, so far. But definitely losing time, waiting for the clock rush.
And then every time you get an item that says something cool like Mournblade, you have to ask yourself, is it really Mournblade?
Iron Shield, all of these things that we have no idea what they are, but Dragonblitz is right to pick them up.
Yep.
Like Cavalry Sword. Iron Shield is actually Iron Shield. Although Alucard Shield is actually Alucard Shield.
Okay, so he has the Mournblade. So this is going to be very interesting.
With decent stats too.
Yeah. So if I were DB and I were awesome, I would just kind of leave the checks there, but he's still going.
I mean, yeah, I think DB could go Castle 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. We don't have Jewel of Open, so it's likely in Castle 2. We haven't seen all of Castle 1, but it's definitely leaning that way. We do know that there are 3 Vlads in Castle 1, and I would not be surprised to see the remaining 2 in Castle 2.
And just like that, Blitzy's making his way to Castle 2, so making the right... But this is going to be interesting, because Jupiter does have access to Olrock, so we can see what's up there. We do know for a fact that there are at least 3 Vlad relics in the first castle. So no matter what, Dragonblitz is going to have to come back and pick it up.
Yeah, but that's a good point. And are they going to come back with Bat? Are they going to come back with just Jewel of Open, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I like DB's strat here because I think they're kind of banking on the fact that I think he only has like a couple checks and a whole bunch of them are locked behind Jewel of Open. So why not see if there's a Jewel of Open in the second?
Yeah, I
castle?
think
This is like a gamble that
you're
is
right.
slightly educated.
You're right. The only thing that's actually open for him right now is I think Fire Bat, which I don't recall, and I guess the library though. But he's got the
Yeah.
library card and can double back pretty easily. They're probably hoping to come back with either Mist or Jewel of Open or both.
Yeah. It's
that
always a
would
little
make-
risky coming into second castle without any sort of transformations because he can't access. He can't get to the mummy, so that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing he's going to maybe do a couple of checks and save split if he gets nothing. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we're about to see what's behind All Rocks and what's at Darkwing Bat.
You know, after Olrox does his long death thing here.
Oh, absolutely. And Dragon Blitz losing time, being thrown against the wall.
Ooh, feels bad, man. Yeah, he just needed one more hit. Ugh.
You're right. Yeah,
Hate to see it.
and Castle 2 can be particularly punishing if you're under equipped and you're going really early. It's Skill of Wolf, which is not terrible, especially considering that movement and invincible charge is on the table.
Yeah.
It could be some of the fastest movement that they have option.
Yeah.
And it looks like Power of Wolf was Darkwing Bat, so...
Yep.
Actually,
Oh no, Darkwing Bat was Heart of Vlad.
Oh, Heart of Vlad, sorry, my apologies. So that's our fourth Vlad that we know of. And so far, it looks like Castle 2 is the right play.
Yeah, and Olrox had Skill of Wolf, so this is going to be really interesting what happens going forward here.
So then where was Power of Wolf? My apologies for not knowing.
Good question. Power Wolf, I believe, was...
Oh, it might have been in Keep. Sorry.
Keep, yeah.
Yeah, Keep.
Thank you,
Mateus
Mateus.
confirming it was Keep.
We're not smart.
Nope.
We need to keep notebooks in front of us, like the big boys.
That's why we have chat to support us. Thanks, chat. Big
Look, we don't
thanks.
get paid any money, all right? I don't have a Patreon. You get what you pay for, ladies and gentlemen.
There's nothing cheaper than free. And Jupiter about to be rewarded with a library card as well. Very nice. I think that may push JupiterClimb to Castle 2. That Mournblade doing some big work for Dragon Blitz on the Medusa fight. A very, very scary fight this early in with this equipment and a max HP of 128. But he pulls through.
Having Mournblade helps.
It does. Cuba Zoe, which Dragon Blitz opts to pick up. It's nice for cash money. It's nice for items. We saw him make very good use, I might add, of daggers in the fight versus Akmadon. There's a number of sub-weapons that can be instant wins against certain bosses. Very nice to see.
The issue is like when... Oh, that's actually not a bad pickup that you could use right now, Dragon Blitz, but whatever.
What was it?
He just got himself a magic book, so he could use that to shield himself
That is nice.
from some of these more annoying guys. But he's just waiting.
Yeah, so Jupiter actually taking the time to go through item checks. Not the strategy they had in game one. That Warnblade has some nice stats.
Elise, I believe the nail was in the library. I think that was where a fairy card was.
Yes, the Vlad was in the library. There's just a lot on the table that can lure both people back. Dragon Blitz obviously has more on the table with not having gone to Caverns and Entrance and Library. So that's something that may push them. And Jupiter's going to check Keep. The question is, are they going to go to Castle 2 really early?
Yeah, I think because he's going to have 3 Vlads, and he's going to feel like the most likely scenario is there's going to be 2 Vlad relics in the second castle. So he's going to go up. But
Yeah.
I would say despite him having 3... They both have 3 Vlads, but I feel like Dragon Blitz has a slight advantage right now.
Chrysogrim drop on Dragon Blitz's side, if that's actually a Chrysogrim.
Yes,
that's big.
Chrysogrim with a
Not
question mark.
Chrysogrim?
Yeah.
or Chrysagram.
There we go. There was the power wolf that we were talking about. So Jupitoops does have full wolf for what it's worth. That means he's
And
got
Dragon
some
Blitz
pretty
moving
set.
back to Castle 1. Sorry to interrupt.
Yep. Nope. I think that's the right move there for Blitzy Poo.
And he's the Blitz has just so much to sell. Easily picks full wolf.
I'm sure Blitz was also thinking that maybe he left behind
Varda.
Yeah.
Oh no, not actually a Varda.
Not
Sorry,
a real Varda.
It's
No.
Classic.
Classic item stat randomization. He's also realizing that the shop stinks, and he will be out of there. All right, so it's a little more evenly matched than I thought. It's really just dependent on where we're going to see Jewel of Open here.
Yeah, and I think Dragon Blitz is going to be very. I think will be seeing. I'm curious to see rather if Dragon Blitz decides to check Fire a Bat, for example, here, if that turns out to be something. But if not, whether or not they'll go back to Castle 2 expecting to full clear. There's a lot that could be open. Yeah, Jewel of Open and Galamoth Vioid. That's just mean. I like your spirit.
Anything's possible, so.
Yeah.
This is casual. Like, casual is a very strange preset. For those who haven't played it, literally anything could be anywhere. There is no complexity chain like there is in like Safe or Nimble. So yeah, usually you can find Soul Bat just about anywhere in kind of seed like this. So it's interesting in a casual not to come across Soul Bat at all.
Yeah.
25 minutes in. So
yes, and that's a good point too, because they both probably are feeling the same way you are, right? Where it's 24 minutes in and I'm still shield dashing. This isn't good. At least Jupiter's got the wolf movement, which is nice, but it's not perfect. The invincible charge is good. I do think though, when we look at Jupiter's options, he's now at 4 Vlads. I'd be very surprised if Jupiter goes back for anything.
No, this to me is like a perfect like hundo clear situation, and it's possible that there is a Vlad relic that is not locked behind Jewel of Open in the second castle. So it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, we may see it here at Fire Bat. Who knows? That's casual, right? It's it could be a 25-minute seed. It could be an hour and a half seed. We don't know. It was a very clean Darkwing for Jupiter. You were right, Mallard. And let's find out what that Fire Bat is. Nothing. So right now, it looks like the smart move is to go to Castle 2 with nothing on the option in Castle 1 that we know of. DB may save split entrance, just to make sure that that's free and clear. But other than that, there's nothing in Castle 1 for anybody. This is very dangerous too, and while they both have Morn Blades, it looks like they're going to have to be going through Coliseum at a very low level, under-equipped, and that is a place where deaths can happen. And Dragon Blitz looking like going back to Castle 2, which is the correct play for sure.
Yeah, and he's already been through the second castle quite a bit, so I believe he can change his routing just a little bit. I'm actually very curious to see what he ends up doing here.
Oh, he's save splitting. That's right. So he's going to save split entrance
here.
Makes a lot of sense.
And he's going to need it.
Yeah. But I guess my question would be, do you think that they'll go to Preacher? Right? It hasn't been anything this whole tournament. I feel like, and Chertoss, you're right, it does feel like DB wasted his library card.
Yeah, I think he could have explored the second castle a little more before going back to first, but that's the kind of gambles you have to take, especially when you're coming from behind in a best of 3. So,
well, and especially too, he went back to Castle 2 from the warp room at All Rocks, right? It's not like dead-ended somewhere, or they dead-ended somewhere, so I think it's, that's a feather in Jupiter's cap right now. They still have they still have the library card. Yeah, and Dragon Blitz checking out all rocks.
But even if Jupiter comes across, let's say he comes across Jewel of Open a creature or something, I still think he should hundo clear the second castle, because you just never know in a casual.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. You know, we could see beast, creature. There's a huge density of checks on the way up to death anyway, that it just makes sense if you're gonna go back, wait till death, because you can always warp back to Galamoth. The Galamoth is the longest play, right? That's sort of where you don't want to be. But again, with the library card, that may change their opinion, right? They may say, or Jupiter may say, I can go to Galamoth if it's nothing, my library card, and go from there.
Just a reminder to chat to just keep things PG. Look at this. Okay, so still nothing really great for Jupiter here.
Nothing great for Jupiter. You're right. I wonder. Oh no, there's actually a. Oh right, no, it was a Christian drop. Oh, not actually. I remember now. I thought that was another library card for a second. Jupiter not taking those pots. I don't think Jupiter goes back until at least death. There's nothing pushing him back. And Dragon Blitz checking entrance. Another save.
So he's going to save split here. So
and he's going to overwrite. That's unfortunate. It's not too unfortunate because it's right by the warp, but definitely a bit of a waste of time there.
You know, this is a gutsy move by Blitz by going back to the first castle so early. Like, he knew he wasn't going to be able to hundo clear, so he was just kind of banking on maybe Jewel of Open being in one of these little checks here, which it's not. So,
and yeah, they haven't made any. You're right. They haven't made any incorrect decisions either. These are just realities. It's a nice, easy check with the Soul of Wolf and Invincible Charge. Killing the Owl, though. And Jupiter making the smart play, saving before trio.
Yep.
This is a difficult fight at 30 minutes in when you don't have a whole lot of good equipment. Oh, they've got 2 Power of Sires. This could be really good if it's not the whiff item. Oh, one more.
Oh, he's doing Pictures of Dad and Soul Steal.
And Soul Steal. I love this. I love this play from Jupe. That's a very, very nice trio fight so far.
Always fun to see the use items come out for bosses, especially. We got a big old Yanni picture right there. So, but you make short work of trio.
That was a very nice trio fight. Making very good use of that picture of Dad.
Yep, and now Dragon Blitz is going to try to make his way back, but I believe he opened up a couple warps here, so it shouldn't be too hard for him to get kind of farther back into the castle.
Holy symbol. Not what he wants to see.
No.
And it looks like they're about to loop back together, essentially, where they are. Although Dragon Blitz hasn't checked trio and obviously will. Jupiter not. Oh, without that staircase is a pain. So obviously not wanting to go there.
Nope. I actually think this is the right move. I actually did this in a seed recently where I didn't have bat. It makes not a whole lot of sense. He also doesn't have Jewel of Open either, so there's no way to get around. Yeah.
I swear, the number of times I forget in a seed that I don't have Jewel of Open and it's actually required in second castle.
Yeah.
Oh. But yes, without Jewel of Open, the obvious play and the only play would be to move forward here.
Yeah, I actually think even if you do have Jewel of Open and no Soul of Bad, it's actually probably faster to do it this way. But, you know,
Dragon Blitz maybe going around to fight bees this way?
He's got to fight Akmadon, so he's going to do that
right.
first.
I forgot they skipped Akmadon.
Yeah. So yeah. So Blitzy is really going to catch up. He's got a lot of catching up to do. I didn't realize it's missing out on that wolf transformation and skipping library so early in the race is tough.
I mean, I love the play of skipping library early. I think that it could have easily gone the opposite way. Let's be clear. Right?
I think it's a better strat if you're doing like a safe seed, but I feel like in casual where you really have to think about the numbers, you know, the relics per location. Like I think library is always the right play to make.
Okay, that's I can understand and respect that choice.
Yeah.
JupiterClimb, refilling mana, and not saving before bees.
Yeah.
Again,
well, these are pretty good racers, and I think they're feeling pretty confident that they can beat these bosses without having to save split. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and he's got Morn Blade. That's right. It's enough to carry even on a messy fight.
Yeah, kind of an underpowered Morn Blade, but.
And Picks of Dad also nice.
Yep.
Probably a Soul Steal in the near future. Oh, that hits hard. Timing that out with the bees leaving, very, very nice.
Yep. Yep. So it looks like Dragon Blitz is going to make his way to Trio the Fun Way.
There's a fun way?
I don't know.
It just doesn't feel very fun. Basically a full heal off of bees as Jupiter finishes that fight. Not super clean, but definitely not bad. And that is power of... Wait, where was the last time Jupiter saved?
I think he did the... he did the big... Oh, yeah. That's actually a good question.
I think he saved it inside Trio. Yeah, reverse Coliseum. Okay.
Okay.
So that's good. The question is, are they going to go to Creature? I like that play. That's interesting. I'll be honest, I haven't seen that played very often, but I imagine, not very many seeds making it this far without bat. Ooh, DB taking 80 damage there. That is some dangerous territory.
And he's still going.
Another 40.
And now he's got
Yeah, that could go very wrong very quickly. Again, just Castle 2, low equipment.
He's still going. Yep, he knows he's got Morn Blade, so he can just heal up with his weapon.
Yeah. So this will be an interesting fight. Whether or not I think they should still have access to the same pictures of Dad.
Yep.
And that's the other thing to keep in mind too is Jupiter now has both Picks of Dad back. So they can use that on their next boss fight.
All right, so Dragon Blitz is using the attack potion instead of use item, like a screen clear kind of item, like a Power of Sire.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's making the match go a little bit slower, but not a bad match.
Not a
bad boss fight.
Good fight. Jupiter opting to not break pots.
All right.
And not opting for the manly split.
No, Jupiter actually prefers to do what we call the Chris split, which is he does the save split at this save room up here. So.
Oh, interesting. So if death ends up being nothing, he comes back.
Yeah. So. I don't understand the rhyme or reason for this, but my guess he's going to save here and then just go back down to Frankie. So we'll see.
Okay.
Nope. He's looking like he's skipping Creature. I think he remembers the last race all too well.
That Creature skip, it has to be something this match. It'll be the one time.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely, Ghoston. My apologies if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Zelda has taught us to break all the pots and cut all the grass.
Yes. How
else are we going to afford our rupees?
Well, I'm glad that was mentioned because the interesting thing about SotN Rando, it's not like Link to the Past randomizer, and that's huge. And he's got a library card, so if he wants to, he can go back. Totally forgot. There's quite a few checks in the first castle that need to be picked up, but he's going to hundo clear second instead and make sure he gets that Jewel of Open.
Yeah, I don't think he goes back without Jewel of Open. I don't think he goes back without Merman, perhaps.
But
I'd be very surprised if he does everything. If he doesn't do Galamoth or Creature, I can see him leaving those.
Yeah, I would not be shocked, by the way, if Blitzy gets himself into that situation where he finds it, knowing that he might be a little behind because he used the library card early. He may go back to the first castle after getting missed. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
but I was mentioning before is that with a Link to the Past randomizer, basically any location that has an item can be randomized with anything. In this, it's only specific like relic locations and locations that are guarded by bosses that contain relics and progression items. So there's a lot less checks in SotN Rando, which is why I like it. The matches are very, very short and sweet.
Absolutely. And we're seeing a bit of overlap here. And it looks like Dragonblitz is making a second save.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So let's see if that comes into play here. But
all right.
Going Force of Echo, going Force of Echo first, which is the same as last time. It is nothing. Okay.
Let's see what a Galaxy Brain saves here. Or I'm sorry. Let's see here what happens.
It's not going to be that useful because they're going to have to keep the save. At the end of the day, they need that. They need that form of mist, or at the very least, we don't know that they don't need it.
Yeah, I agree, Smile. There's a good chance that Jupiter may just completely skip Galamelt altogether, but I think it actually depends on whether or not he has Jewel of Open by that point. And Dragonblitz has lost his stream. Hopefully that comes back.
Agreed. I'm just going to check out quite quickly to see whether or not it's still open on their channel or if it's a feed on our end.
Yeah, not like this indeed.
No, they're still going on their stream, so I'm going to keep that open in a separate tab. I apologize if I'm a little bit behind on ours, but I think it'll be helpful to see. So they just found the familiar card as well. They're wolf charging out and heading to somewhere. Okay, perfect. We got the feedback. And I can.
Okay, sweet.
Nice. Yeah, thanks, Modifiers. Yeah, there's a tool, at least, that it's called the replay tool, where you can follow them through after they've completed it.
Yeah, but it's after they complete it, so there's no way we can track in real time if we lose the feed.
And there's death for Jupe. That card. All right, so. What I'd love to see here is a save split, like a secondary save split. Check the creature real quick. But probably not what we're going to see.
No, but in the meantime, Blitzy's catching up to Jupiter, so it's...
Blitz hasn't done bees, though.
I thought he did, no?
I don't think he did.
Oh.
I think he went straight to Caverns, or reverse Caverns.
Alright.
And it looks like, yeah, Jupiter's going Galamoth. He's got the library card. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So
the one thing he skipped was Creature. In that... Sorry, but that might bite him on the butt, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, if only to prove Fire wrong, it'd be worth it. DB does not still have his library card, Pehi, or Pehi. I wish I could pronounce the name properly. I apologize. Yeah, DB used it to warp back, DB used it to warp back after getting the All Rocks teleporter.
I'm just surprised they've gone this long without getting Soul of Bat, which makes me think it's locked somewhere in Caverns or Catacombs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't, or at this point, if it was in Castle 2, just for item density. I mean, we're looking at it.
Yeah. What if Soul of Bat was at Creature?
Yeah. I mean, the real what if is, what if it's Soul of Bat at Galamoth, right? Jupiter can warp back. Dragon
Yeah.
Blitz has to keep the seed. And that's
It looks like Dragon Blitz fell in love with the door right there.
yeah. And
It's a small miscue.
And Jupiter pulling out a two-hander.
Ooh. Thought Gal was going to get out of the stun lock, but he's doing all right.
No, he's keeping his head banging up.
Yeah.
I'm sure both runners right now feeling the pinch, hunting their last Vlad for at least the last 15 minutes both. So,
It was a quick 4 Vlads, though, so...
it was a very quick 4 Vlads, you're right. So, we could just, I'm thinking, start seeing some really tilted choices.
Yeah. I think that's how casual seeds go a lot, is you get a few really quick early Vlads, and then you're kind of stuck trying to figure out where the last one is. And that's, I think Blitz is just doing those item checks, just hoping for another library card.
Or a duplicator. Or any other thing that might make this fight not a numb slog. But yes.
Yeah. I think he's coming to the same conclusion that Jupiter did, which is there's really not much you can do.
They're sitting on Baltic Avenue with garbage, yes.
Yeah. Blitzy's spending a lot of time menuing. You don't really see that often. Oof, Merman. I would actually. He's going to go back. Yeah, he's going to go back to first castle. I think it's a.
Why though? Without Merman, it's that's an interesting. They can't get to Merman, right?
Nope, not without Jewel of Open. You're right.
Is Jewel of Open a creature?
Jewel of Open's probably a creature. You're 100% right.
It's possible, or it could be at the mist
Well,
game.
not necessarily, right? Because
yeah.
Yeah, he still has to look at Soul of Bat and look at Silver Ring. So it's possible. Well, he can't do Silver Ring, but so he's really banking on the thing that he needs being right here at Soul of Bat. So
well, Soul of Bat or Silver Ring, because Silver Ring is. Oh wait, no.
No, it's blocked by Jewel of Open, so he can't get it. So
yeah, you're right, Mateus. It's 50-50, but at the very least, Jupiter's about to find out.
No, but this is what we live for. 50, like seeing these gambles like this. Like if it's last Vlad, he's a hero. And that would be a huge move on Jupiter's part. But yeah, it just depends on what's Blitz going to do. Is he going to go check out creature after this, or is he going to?
Blitz has got to be tilted after this, looking at another.
Wow, and there it is. He just got himself a silver ring. So,
so creature's got Jewel. Yeah.
Blitz doesn't have library cards, so yeah, he's going to save split right there. And go back to, I'm assuming he's going to go back to manually split and check creature, which is 100% the right move.
Probably kick himself, kick themselves because that means they'll just be permanently orphaning Merman, right? Right. If I'm just thinking, if he goes back to the wrong save split, he won't have Merman. They'll have Jewel of Open, but they won't have Merman.
This race is absolutely bananas. Both players are just doing some crazy gambles right now, and none of them are paying off. It's
absolute shenanigans.
And like the leads keep changing, right? I felt like Dragon Blitz kind of had this in the bag early on, then Jupiter kind of got ahead, and now it's feeling like Dragon Blitz is in the catbird seat. So we'll see. He's going to go back to first. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. Okay. No, he's making his way to Frankie. I've just never seen it this way, but I guess that's the fastest way to get over there if you don't have Soul of Bat.
Oh, and Jupiter finishing up this really quickly. Gonna find nothing.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's not the wrong play. They've got the save state, or not the save state, the save file
split
where they can scum back, and it's not a problem.
Yep. Still, Dragon Blitz has just a slight advantage here just because he is already on his way to creature. And Jupiter is going to
okay,
have to do this all the way back from the
Jupiter
the
just made a really smart move, though.
Hmm?
They loaded a save state where they have their library card still.
Good point. He still has his library card. Okay. Good call.
That's big. That's because we now know they're going to have to go back to first castle.
Now, I don't understand why Dragon Blitz is doing a save split here.
That's a great question.
Oh yeah, because he didn't do Beelzebub. You're right. So he's going to do Beelzebub first, and then he's going to go check Frankie. So
I thought he didn't do bees, but yeah, it turns out he didn't. So he's going to lose some time there.
No, so Jupiter's got a pretty firm lead then. I didn't realize. Okay, so
yeah,
boy oh boy.
Yeah, I wonder if so it looks like Jupe's not doing it in this room, but it is possible to turn off Skill of Wolf and have some quick wolf movement through here. I wonder if Dragon Blitz is going to do that.
Yeah, this room is just so hard without Soul of Bat. I feel bad for Jupiter. Yeah, there is a way to do this with Wolf. I find it very inconsistent, and I think it's actually probably what Jupiter's doing is probably the most ideal way.
Jupiter doesn't have Merman statue anymore.
Oh, he lost it. So he's really hoping that there's enough that the last Vlad is not at Merman.
This is bananas.
Oh, hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be quite a race to the finish, especially if Merman ends up being something good. All right, so this has got to be Jewel of Open, a creature.
This is a heck of a race.
And then I'm going to guess that
it is Jewel of Open or Last Vlad, I guess. But I mean,
no, because
I don't think this logic can lock itself out, right?
No, they can't. It can't lock itself out. So yeah, so this is Jewel of Open. He does have his library card, but this is a huge gamble because he does not have Merman.
The real question is, are they going to grab? Are they going to grab the ring a second time?
Yep. It looks like if Merman is not necessary, then Dragon Blitz is probably solid. I would just about a minute behind. So really big deal.
Power of Sire would be a good purchase here. Oh, He never actually checked the full version of the shop. That's why.
Nothing exciting. Sorry, Jupiter.
Why didn't just load up on Pixadad? Yeah, this could be a scene where we see Galhoth fought 4 times.
I'm not much of a pictures of dad guy when I play, so I get it.
I'm just thinking with the enemies that you still have on the table that you might have to beat, Galamoth, for example, Shaft, things that you want it for. Although he still has 2, to be fair.
I mean, if Jupiter has to go back and beat Galamoth, he's just going to forfeit. Like,
yeah, Jupe didn't grab the ring either. So, and it's really interesting some of the things Jupiter's orphaning here. What is this, safe?
Yeah, but because it is casual, there's a very low percentage chance that there's going to be something of consequence at Holy Glasses. That could be your Soul of Bat spot, to be honest.
Yeah, and it looks like Dragon Blitz started it, but he didn't turn off Skill of Wolf, so...
Nope, he's going to try it.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Good
That's
timing.
one way to make up for some lost time.
Yeah, no, beautiful timing. Interesting that we're not seeing Silver Ring check here.
Just as he loses all of his mana. Yeah, Jupiter lost Mist too, so he's leaving a lot of stuff on the table because now Silver Ring is locked out.
Oh, you're right, he lost Mist.
Yep. No, that was a good point by Mateus. Like, this is this is a extreme gamble from a guy who knows he's up 1 game and is doing whatever he can to try to get an edge. We'll see. I'm just like excited at the play of both of these racers. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I mean, these are 2 of the top in the game. So
and yeah, I think we want to make point too of this is the first time creature in this tournament has had anything of value. in the entire tournament, and this is top 8. So
Yeah, Fire, you're
absolutely
full of it.
crazy to see. It was due. It was due. Let's be clear.
Fire, you better apologize in the chat right now.
Jupiter has gas cloud. That's nothing, especially without mist. I'm surprised Jupiter's not checking for library cards either. Just given that they may have to go back. Oh wait, they don't have. Yeah, they may have to go back to second castle for something. This is painful. Knowing with everything that we know, right? It's difficult with where they are in the minute. They don't have Merman, so they're not able to check Merman.
Yep.
Able to crush Scylla really quick though.
Yeah, but at least we'll be able to see what is at. I think what Blitz is going to do now is check Silver Ring first. He's going to save Split here. Nope, never mind.
There's Soul of Bat. That's nice to find.
All right, that's good. So,
Jeez, that puts Spikebreaker in Logic as well. We could be seeing Catacombs.
this is exciting. I mean, Jupiter's playing with fire, so let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily the lost melee hell. It is definitely a problem. We do know that one of the 2 missed checks is nothing. Well, it's not necessarily nothing. It's a ring. So it's a double gamble on Fire's part here, or on Jupiter's part.
Yeah.
But we can see what Merman is. We're able to check Demon card, and then both of the items or both of the relics in Catacombs are open. So I think Jupiter might be saying to themselves, if it's not one of those, I'll take the L. Because they're both probably feeling really behind at this point. I can't imagine the stress that they're in, or the pressure that they feel under with all of this. And there's Ring.
And just like that, Jupiter's got the last Vlad relic, so the gambles have paid off.
That's
just
big.
a mad dash to the second castle.
There's lots of stuff that can go wrong from here.
Oh, for sure. But short of some sort of catastrophe, it looks like Jupiter is going to have this in the bag, and he will win the tournament. So this is exciting.
For sure, it's definitely his to lose at this point. They're not exactly super well equipped for Dracula, so that's something we could see. DB's any % experience and huge depth of technical gameplay coming back to help with. But yeah, this is not looking good for DB. And again, just this is casual for no, this is casual.
Yeah, casual is mayhem. I mean, you could have a seed that's like 45 minutes, or you could have a seed that's an hour 45. It's anything can happen.
Yeah, and to it really if you gamble in this, you're not necessarily punished as often as you would be in a safe market seed. So very, very big. And let's see how this ends up.
Yeah, I agree, Void. I think the biggest mistake that Blitz made was library carding out early. I just wish he had a little more faith in his movement and just tried to clear the second castle completely before doing anything else. To me, when I race casual, it's like if I have access to the second castle and that's like my only option, I try to do as much as I possibly can in second.
You raise a very good point there, Doozy, and especially considering he left from a warp room. I feel like that was an opportunity to go to creature and warp back, right? Or just go somewhere where you don't want to have to come back from.
Yeah, and I think his big fear was missing out on a transformation and thinking that there might be something decent behind Olrox and Akmadon, which was not really the case.
Yeah, DB's probably feeling pretty tilted right now with that solo bat. 57 minutes into a seed. Jupiter only got it 52 minutes or 53 minutes into a seed, so it's not that big of a difference, but Jesus, that's awful. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, bat go zoom. Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jupiter with a very firm lead. Let's see if they decide to save. If they decide to save, I think that'll probably be the, pardon the pun, the nail in the coffin of this one.
Yep.
Wow, one heck of a race.
Yeah, this was a heck of a race and a really fun one to watch. The other one was super close. This one, it was just a gamble after gamble. Like, you couldn't ask for better races tonight. I mean, it would have been great for it to go to a third game. Anything's possible, but it looks like Jupiter's got this in the bag. And,
yeah, they have the Mournblade too, right? So they can heal
Yeah.
that way. They've got an elixir, I think, if I recall correctly, in their inventory. He's got the 2 picks of Dad. If you know, I'd love to see the picks of Dad taking down Shaft, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, these last 2 fights are fairly free, especially when you're a top tier runner like these two.
Yeah. The Mournblade not dealing as much damage as I'm sure they would like, but still really good.
Dragon Blitz stuck with no mana here.
Ugh, not a place you want to be when you're sitting on
No.
that after waiting for an hour to get it. Absolutely infuriating, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I would assume Blitz is behind them, beside themselves right now. So that's okay.
Making the smart play to refill the mana here, though. And Jupe. Are we going to
All right.
see?
You see Drax's true form in his pair. And, couldn't one-cycle Dracula. Unless Dragon Blitz has something really up his sleeve right now, it's going to be curtains for Dragon Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely. The surprising warp. And that should just...
All right.
No, I
GG's.
guess a little bit underpowered as a Mournblade on stats. Is it going to go to a cycle 3? No. GG's.
Go back whence you came. Trouble the soul of my mother.
Well done.
Wow.
All right. So
GG's in the chat.
that's it.
GG's, Jupe.
Hey, what's up?
Jupadupes. You did it.
Yeah, wow, in 2. That was... How did you feel about that seed?
Okay, so I've got some really mixed feelings about this set. On the one hand, it's casual. It's all about playing the odds and taking smart gambles. It's very unpredictable. On the other hand, I'm super happy I won. And I really can't believe it. Game 2 was the most casual route I've probably ever done. I orphaned Fire of Bat because I just thought, look, it's out of the way. I can try and route it in with Mist later. Then I got deep in the castle too. Skipping Creature apparently won me game 1. So of course I did it a second time. Jewel at Creature was shocking. And at that point I had to commit. It's like, look, I'm going to have to just leave Merman Statue behind. I'm going to have to leave, I think it was Silver Ring behind. And if it happens to be at one of those 2 locations, I'll forfeit. But if I have to double back and get all that a second time, I will definitely lose. If I press onwards, I'll maybe lose. But thankfully, it was pretty early into Caverns. It was
Yeah, and how did you feel getting Bat at 57 minutes in?
You know, in a way, this actually worked out very favorably. I mean, we've talked before about how, Dragon Blitz is the undisputed best Alucard player in the world. And one of the highlights of his skill set is Bat's movements. I feel like because of my glitchless speedrunning experience, I'm really good with no shield movement. So I prefer seeds that have later Bat. That worked to my advantage here.
I had one question for you, Jupes. So after Galamoth, I forget what was there, but you decided you were going to save quit, and you basically left behind, what was it? Form of Mist. You left behind Merman statue. Like, what was going through your head when you reset there?
Well, my thinking, like I said before, was that I had to commit because I'm not sure. Maybe you all can tell me how far behind was DB. I'm guessing it was really close, and I knew that if I spent even a couple of minutes getting some of these maybe necessary relics, again, that was gonna just put me way behind.
Yeah, they actually used their library card at All Rocks, or at reverse All Rocks teleporter, which I think maybe was suboptimal and put them a little bit behind you. And they basically spent most of Castle 2 trailing behind you in some form or function by a few minutes, actually.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to go back and catch the VOD on that.
Yeah,
Both of these seeds definitely had a lot of routing potential.
oh,
So sure,
it is
it
absolutely
was exciting to
worth
watch,
checking
yeah.
Yeah.
both odds.
No, there was
It's-
like gutsy play on both of your
amazing.
parts. You both took amazing gambles, but honestly, like, whew, boy, to leave behind Silver Ring and leave behind a Snorkel just to gamble on maybe going all the way down to Catacombs and finding something, that was incredible. Like,
Well, honestly,
mean-
had I known, and one of the most exciting things about Randomizer is having limited information about your opponent's progress.
Yeah.
Had I known that I had a lead on DB at that point, I would have changed up my strat. But I was assuming, just given the quality of Dragon Blitz's play, that in that situation I had to press on. But still, I'm glad I was able to get a little lead there.
Yeah, it felt like
Yeah.
you both seemed like you were playing from behind, which I think actually, on our end, it was super fun to watch because you both were just making gamble after gamble, hoping that you were
Going a
catching
little
up to the other
wild,
person.
yeah. Well, not to get too sentimental here, but I picked up this game for the randomizer for the first time last year, and I just want to say the community, the SotN community, has been so welcoming, so helpful. It's been a privilege to be a part of. If anyone else is interested in joining, I feel like we're really just getting started with this game. There are still new things in development, new presets constantly being added. It's a great time to join, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally agree. And I gotta say, like, I appreciate that you were constantly in the races and stuff, and I think it's been great having you around, just keeping things going. And this has been a super fun tournament. I hope you don't spend all your prize money in one place. Spread it out. But yeah, it was like absolutely incredible. And yeah, I do think that this community is just, growing nicely, and we have a nice group of people around. So it's nice to see you and 50 and Dragon Blitz and everybody kind of coming together here for this amazing tournament.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Keys and Doozy both. Making time to make sure this grand finals had some comms.
Yeah, thanks for giving us a heck of a race to commentate. Two great races to commentate. It's absolutely a joy, and I appreciate the big love you bring to the community, and looking forward, obviously, to more races, more tournaments, and watching the community grow. So, thank you so much for your time and effort on this as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to see you in the next tournament.
Yeah, I got to get ready for Aria here, so talk soon. Take care.
All right, GG's.
All right, Doozy, I think that's going to do it. I haven't seen or heard from DB, so I think we're just going to call it at this point. It looks like they're reviewing a VOD on their end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Thank-
wants to talk about that loss, but it's tough losing in 2 games in a best of 3. So, this looks like the end. But anybody wants to check out any more races, go to the Long Library, check out 50 Keys' stream, check out my stream, check out Blitz or Jupiter's streams. We're always doing SotN. So, let's keep it going and keep building up the momentum, everybody.
All right. And with that, everybody, have a great rest of the weekend, and stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Take care.
GG's. Keep banging.